Bertie Armstrong, chief executive of the Scottish Fishermen's Federation, appeared on the BBC Politics show to argue that the UK wants sovereignty over the nation's natural capital. He said, "We do not say to the French, you can put wine on our supermarket shelves, but we would like some share of your grapes for that. That is absurd, but that is exactly what happens in fishing and this line of argument. If you want to trade in our market, you must give us some of your natural capital is totally absurd. The critical part is sovereignty over your own natural capital. That is where we want to be. You can then be as generous or as ungenerous as you like. It is all about a direction of movement and a managed expansion of this really iconic and really important industry to a position, in the end, of world leadership. That is where Iceland and Norway stand, and that is where we want to stand, and the law supports us. The UK currently only retains 40% of its fish, giving 60% to the European Union. But Brexit could be an opportunity for this to change, said the head of the Scottish Fishermen's Federation. Emma Armstrong said, "We weren't pleased that was going to be the case for the implementation period, but regrettably that was probably always going to be the case. The one issue that unites everybody, politicians, the fishing industry and the general public, is we need fair shares of the fish. 40% of the fish in our area are retained by our own fishing industries, and then 60% goes to the Brexit news." Andrew Neil laughed when Bertie Armstrong made a clever point that is absurd, but that is exactly what happens. In fishing, Bertie Armstrong, the figures in Iceland and Norway are 90% retained and 85% retained. So that must change, and so there is an imperative not to sell us down the river too. Pick a cliché. There is a specific economic reason, as the first sell of fish is about £1 billion in the UK. If you keep more than 40%, then the numbers are obvious. Here is an area for growth. Here is an area for managed expansion. Here is an area that needs to go right. Although it is a small proportion for GDP, it is not small in coastal communities that have suffered from 60% of their raw material leaving. Britain gave in to EU demands in March and agreed that British waters will only become an independent coastal state after December 2020. British fishermen believe our waters are overfished by other EU countries, and the CFP means they are also restricted as to how much they can fish. The strict EU regulations mean that some British fishermen are forced to throw fish back into the sea. In response to the Brexit transition deal, Brexiteer Nigel Farage embarked on a fishing vessel along the Thames in March in protest against the potential death sentence transition deal.